Welcome in, Dark Hearts. I'm Mooney.
And Wolfie with your Nerd Network news.
We just finished up Season 2, Part 2 of Invincible, and oh man, those first two episodes. We had to take a couple-day break between those two episodes and the last two episodes, and for good reason.
The first two episodes were intense due to violence, with the last two being intense due to emotional trauma.
Those final two episodes were hitting Matt Groening levels of emotional trauma.
I definitely feel that with both Donald's speech and later on when Invincible was talking with Debbie. And you know what, guys? These aren't things that you have to be superhero level trauma to understand. And I do appreciate how they make sure to circle around to the dangling plot threads we've had from earlier in the season. We get an update on the Mummy situation, Omni-Man situation, Alan's situation, and a very clear pace set for how Season 3 is gonna go. While we don't have any answers yet, at least we know that this series is not gonna drop plot threads.
Well, I think that much is obvious because Invincible has been approved for Season 3.
Honestly, the major trigger warning for the second half of Part 2, I would say, are Episodes 5 and the beginning of Episode 6. Those events are absolutely brutal, and you want to be prepared going into it. Remember, Robert Kirkman's style is to take a realistic view of what the superhero genre would look like. Life and death battles aren't usually as valiant as they are in Superman.
And I gotta say, guys, Rex goes through so many highs and lows. Jason Montezukis did a fantastic job, especially portraying the life and death situation that they get into. Call me Rex Logue, because it blew my mind.
I think one of the most impactful things about the second half of the season was the introduction of Viltrumite Anissa.
I loved Anissa, her character. Such a powerful female character. We don't get to see those so often.
Not to mention how she directly challenges not just Mark's viewpoint or attachments, but his actual morality. Mark has been resisting the Empire because he thinks they'll bring death and destruction, which of course it's been shown many times that Viltrumites do not tolerate any form of resistance. But Anissa challenges his morality directly with some of the coldest words I've heard. She asks of Mark, "You care so much about the millions who might die in a takeover, but you don't care about the millions who are currently starving to death and dying because of greedy corporations?" Oh man, nothing hit harder than that. And her entire role in this later half of the season proves her point.
She hits the metaphorical nail on the head, and that nail being Mark's.
Another interesting thing that might be easy to miss is that she also mentions that if the Viltrumites do not interfere on Earth, that there will be great calamity and almost all the humans will die anyways without their help. When Mark is portal hopping, we see three varieties of universes out there. The ones that are in chaos because of Viltrumite takeover, the one he's currently in that hasn't had chaos or Viltrumite takeover yet, and the ones that haven't had Viltrumite interference and have experienced horrific apocalyptic events. It's almost like they're trying to drive home that the Viltrumites are sort of the good guys, but when you're comparing them to greedy corporate overlords and oligarchs, at least the Viltrumites are offering technology that would solve world hunger, climate crisis, heal the ozone, and allow humans to live out their entire full lifespans because of excellent healthcare. Makes you wonder why we're resisting.
And guys, we gotta talk about the talking dinosaurs. Eat gads, it speaks! The comic relief was so well placed. I loved it.
And we definitely needed a trip through different copyright-friendly, popular comic and sci-fi franchises.
We're not bringing up that they totally had Spider-Man, Doc Ock, and Batman.
No, it was Prof Ock in this world.
And guys, we need to bring up, Robert Kirkman brought The Walking Dead into the Invincible universe.
Except with talking zombies, which is a whole nother level.
Comic relief aside, spoiler warning, we're gonna have to talk about the brutality of episodes 6 and 7.
And how they really did not need to extend that comic book scene with twice the normal animation budget.
And guys, I gotta say, King Lizard is an absolutely terrible shot. How do you miss point blank?
Well, Mushu, it's thanks to him missing point blank that Rex only suffered a lobotomy, essentially.
Shanking Ray did not deserve what she got. I'm glad she survived. But man, that scene alone is why I myself needed a break. That was just a little much. And we're gonna point out that the new Guardians of the Globe kinda only lost to the Lizard League because they didn't have their heavy hitters.
Oh, they won against the Lizard League, just took some heavy losses in the process.
I'm just saying, they probably wouldn't have had any casualties if at least Immortal was there.
or Eve or Mark, the 3 OP ones.
But they had to save the Earth from the Sequids, which also brings them back up because they might be coming back to Season 3. I'm honestly very curious to see where that storyline goes.
One thing that I was really expecting during the Angstrom-Levy fight was that baby Oliver was going to get pushed to the brink and get his powers, and that's what was going to kick Angstrom's butt.
I thought so too. That would have been such a sweet twist.
Yeah, they kept cutting to the baby over and over and over, which implies something's about to happen, but other than getting yeeted a few times and obviously being uninjured, nothing happened! And they keep, showing his little eyes, looking back and forth. Lights are on. Someone's home. What is going on with little baby Oliver?
Also, why would the government send them back to their same home? You gotta think, the PTSD, being in those same rooms after all of that happened, why would they want to go back?
Not to mention that they got away with using the exact same excuse as the house that blew up across the street. They're not even trying at this point.
Also, at the very end, Omni-Man says, "I think I miss my wife." All in all, Season 2, Part 2 of Invincible was a roller coaster of emotions. There was a lot of good, a lot of upset, a lot of disgust, and a lot of happiness.
They kind of undid everyone's emotional or literal sacrifice by the end of the season, but you know what? I'm gonna forgive that because with the violent, brutal imagery, we kind of needed that at the end of the season.
And that's no joke, guys. We really needed that. What did you guys think of the second half of Season 2? Did you enjoy Alan's return?
Alan the Super Saiyan? Or, I'm sorry, Super Unopin?
Tell us what you think in the comments below.
I am scared for everyone in Season 3. Robert Kirkman doesn't do happy endings.
No, he really doesn't, so honestly, yeah, I'm scared for everyone in Season 3.
And until then, Dark Hearts,
stay. NNN would like to thank our listeners for tuning in, and our radio sponsor, 1065 The Point.
Make sure you like and subscribe to darkheart_studios on YouTube and follow our socials for full video versions of NNN, interviews, and live event coverage.
Thanks for listening, Dark Hearts. This is Mooney.
And Wolfie, signing off.